This episode of Convert to Raid is brought to you in part by Audible. Try Audible free for 30 days and get your free audiobook just for signing up right now at audible.com/gamebreaker. Welcome home, Raiders. This week, there is raid testing happening on the beta. Kind of. We'll give you the details. Hunters become useful again, 6 seconds at a time, and druids are getting crazy. This is CTR episode 150.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
Podcast Power Station in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is July 27th, 2014. It is now 11:19 a.m. Central Time, of course, Central Daylight. Thanks for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land, everybody. My name is Pat Crane. I'm the host of the show. And, I'm also known as Zug around Airy Peak, U.S. I'm still recovering from the Minnesota Meetup yesterday. So it might be kind of a show. Might be a cool show. Might be weird. Who knows? So let's go to the players. From serene Seattle, from sleepy Seattle, it's Darius.
Hi.
Hi, Darius.
150th episode today.
Yeah.
That makes, wow, this show is now almost as old as you are.
Wow. Wow. Just for that.
Aww.
I don't like you anymore. Just for that, I'm gonna go out to LA, to Hollyweird, to the Funky Monk. It's Coltrane.
Fortune cookies say.
Oh no, why'd I do that?
What does a mage do after a long, exhaustive battle?
I don't know. What does a mage do after a long, exhaustive battle?
They go to sheep. Huh?
No, we're done. We're
they
done.
go to
Again, we're just done.
Sheep.
We're done.
They go to sheep.
Mm,
Ah, come on. What do you think, right?
no.
It's
No!
like sleep, but sheep.
No.
You clearly don't get it. I should probably redo it.
No.
They
don't
go
redo,
to
don't
sheep.
redo anything, please.
What does a mage
Please
do?
don't redo anything. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That might be the first one.
Oh, what?
That could be. It's definitely in the top 150.
Which means it's the best one. That was sent in by Isildur, Isyldar on Hyjal US. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I'm seeing 10 out of 10 bongos.
Right. Well, you always see 10 out of 10 bongos, even when it doesn't say that.
That's right.
Oh, I don't
10
know.
out of 10.
I don't know. All right. So, hi, guys. Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of CTR.
When does the fun part start?
As soon as, I don't know.
What?
I don't know when.
This is the best.
So, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on this last, I guess, couple of weeks, because we didn't have a show last week. There were some scheduling things going on, and couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite make it happen.
Right.
So what's been going on the last couple of weeks? And maybe, Coltrane, we'll start with you. How's that?
Well, speaking of scheduling,
Yeah.
Blizzard, in their infinite wisdom, decided to do realm maintenance Saturday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., which, well, happens to be the same time that my raid team raids.
What's your raid team's name?
I believe they're called, man, this is good coffee. Man, that is some delicious cup of joe.
Right.
But I've really been enjoying playing World of Warcraft on my monk named That's a Good Cup of Brew.
Damn it!
Man, that tastes so good. You guys should really try this. It's delicious.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we did not get to raid on Saturday or rectified Wakfu, unfortunately.
Right.
rectified.
All right, so I should have dropped out of that.
Right.
So I don't know.
But so no, we didn't unfortunately get to raid. And then the week prior, so we got a lot of applicants coming in, which is great.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're kind of like each person, certain people are kind of swinging out. They're having like an off week so someone else can come in and try out. So the week before was my off week.
Okay.
So I actually did not get to raid at all. But I was real excited like yesterday, and then Blizzard the maintenance, and I was like, no! So I didn't get the chance to step in. So.
Have you been checking out the beta at all? Or have you just been kind of, I know you're busy with work and stuff, but
Work's been insane, the real life monster, but yes, I'm still in the beta.
Yep.
Really having fun in the beta. But work has just been crazy. Work has been nuts, but it's all right. It's all good.
Okay, cool. Now, Darius, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks, maybe in-game?
Oh, man. I've been playing my druid. My plan, likely for Warlords, is I'm going to stop pally tanking. I'll probably play my druid and monk as my tanks, as my mains.
Well, aren't druids like on the beta? Aren't they just insane right now? Bear tanks?
Yeah, they're doing all right on the beta, which is promising. I'm looking forward to. I mean, they weren't bad before, but they're definitely doing a lot better in the beta. But the best tanks on there right now seem to be warrior tanks. They seem to be killing it. So I'll probably be playing my druid. So I've been playing my druid in LFR and things like that to try to get the legendary material. So I started this week on the runestones. That's the last one there, I guess, where you need 12.
Yeah.
And because of the buff in one run through, I managed to get half of them. So I have 6, so I only need 6 more.
Right.
So I'll almost be done with that thing. So that buff has been great.
Yeah, the Gaze of the Black Prince is still out there and still on everybody.
Still watching you.
How long is that going on for? Do we know? Because that's still limited, right?
I think it ends this week.
Okay.
Actually.
No!
Yeah.
It needs to be permanent!
It does. It does. Along with being able to do double XP and I really,
everything.
2,000 a week. I think that would be great, you know?
Right.
It's the end of the expansion. Just let people have what they want to have at this point.
That's right.
At this point. Because you know what I'm doing is I'm playing an elemental shaman. I've been playing my shaman lately. Because it's the end of expansion. I need something to do, and it's been a while since the Ellie Shaman, and I'm thinking that maybe for Warlords, that it would be great if I had 2 healer caster DPS roles, so I could have 2 tunes, right? And so I'm like, okay, it's hedge your bet time.
Right.
For everybody. So if druids are really terrible, then we can go and we can, grab the Ellie Shaman and go and destroy stuff. And it's always been fun. I've always had fun with Ellie Shaman and Resto Shaman. It's just that, with different raid comps and stuff like that, druid has always kind of worked out better for me.
Right.
So, but now it's time to think about Warlords. And I know that for our team, we are kind of short on Elemental Shaman. And we're heavy on melee, so maybe it's time to shift it a little bit. And maybe switch a character that I've only played since the beginning of Cataclysm, nonstop. So
now let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah,
the old elemental shaman. So the big uproar was that lightning bolt you can no longer cast on the move.
Yeah.
Right, for Warlords.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been retracted, or is that still the case in Warlords?
I'm not sure, because I know that they did something with Restos where they were taking away the lightning bolt as a way to regain mana, and then they've been adding that back. They've been kind of playing with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly where it sits right now. I haven't tried it in the beta. I've been trying it in real games so that I could level up, get gear, get all my kind of figure it out right now, and then I'll be able to figure it out with the shift on beta. So
right, yeah, the chat room's saying it's still the case, so enjoy that lightning bolt on the move for now.
Yeah, no, it's great on the move right now.
Right.
I like it a lot. But I'm cool with it either way. I don't think that'll be a huge problem, because you have ways around that as a shaman.
Right.
So if you really need to cast on the move, you can do it.
I think that's the idea. You cast one ability so you can do stuff on the move. What is it? Spearwalker's Grace?
Yep.
Is that the deal?
That's the one.
Right.
That's
Good
the
stuff.
And as I mentioned at the top of the show, there's a couple of things that I mentioned at the top of the show. Number one is that it is our 150th episode, which is weird.
Cool.
So
Right.
I think that maybe we'll do that. We'll give ourselves a big round of applause, but it's actually because of you guys that we've been doing 150 episodes for sure, and for all those guys out there that have been listening to the show since episode 0. Why?
You're
We're
really bad.
sorry.
What?
We
Right.
feel bad for you. But
You are now 10% dumber
Right.
since you started.
Right, but thank you guys for sticking with us for 150 episodes, and we hope to do at least a couple more. At least like
two or
two,
three
three
more.
more, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Right, and that's it.
Right. No
Tap
more,
out.
No more than that. The other thing is Minnesota Meetup. So Minnesota Meetup was yesterday, and it was amazing. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out. We had a really great time. There was about like 35, 36 people that showed up to the clearly not made up bar, the Herkimer, in Uptown Minneapolis, and we had a great time. We hung out. We played some a little bit. They have a thing called Shuffle Alley there, where it's like shuffleboard on a table, on like a wood table. It's pretty cool. And so we gave out a ton of prizes. We had CTR T-shirts and games from Cryptozoic, and we had just a ton of stuff. So everybody walked away. Well, most everybody walked away with a prize or something, or a hug, handshake,
Yes.
whatever.
A hug is better than a prize.
I'll take a hug from Crane any day. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And so it was really a lot of fun. It was great to hang out with everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And now I'm feeling really old today. I woke up today and I was like creaking out of it. Like all the bones were just like.
Yeah, you're not in your 20s anymore.
No.
Can't really consume that much spicy water and then still be okay the next day.
Yeah, and then right next door to the Herkimer, just down the street a little bit, there was this place that served sake, and Jules was there from Tauren Think Tank, and so we went. She loves sake, so we went over and had sake cocktails, and it was yummy, but that might also be. Not such a great thing this morning, but
so you went from beer to sake.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So that was a wise move.
Right. Yes. God bless.
Pretty sure not so much. All right.
Real quick, I heard someone came from Sweden.
Oh yeah. So okay. So get this. Somebody let me know on Tuesday that they were coming out from Stockholm to just for the meetup, just for the weekend.
Stockholm, Minnesota?
Sweden. They flew out from Sweden.
What?
Just for the weekend. It was so weird.
What?
I was like, you have got to be crazy. And then it turns out that he does survey stuff for Warcraft Realms. And so we got talking about server numbers and all this kind of weird stuff. We started chatting about kind of the number side of WoW. Really interesting conversation. Really great to meet him, and he came up to the bar and he was like, "Yeah, I'm from Sweden." And I said, "Here, take a T-shirt. You have at least got you've earned that at least." But it was a great time. So it was fun to see everybody. We saw people from Fargo, North Dakota, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, from Madison, from Iowa City, from Sweden. And around the Twin Cities too. So it was Duluth, Minnesota as well. So it was great to see everybody. Thank you guys for coming out. It's always cool. And if you guys want to do a meetup in your area, I would highly recommend it. Even if it's just like a couple of people, even if it's just a couple of other people from your area, it's really a lot of fun to meet somebody new, to talk a little bit about WoW. And just, kick back and hang out with some new folks. So I really, really encourage that.
That's
for
great.
For sure. All right, let's go into the raiding news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening with raiding news around the World of Warcraft. And first up, raid testing.
Kind of.
Oh wait, hold on a sec. Hold on. The server went. The server went down.
Yeah, server went down.
The server went down. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, hold on. Server's back up. Server's back
Oh,
up.
yeah. Woo!
Oh, wait, server's down. Server's down, guys. Server's down.
No.
Oh, no. So earlier this week, they were testing Gruul and the Butcher. I think it was like Tuesday. And they were having some connection issues during the time. And I was actually trying to get in. I had gotten my druid, all my macros ready so that I could maybe heal on something.
Right.
And after like an hour and a half of waiting for connections to resolve, I said, screw it.
Right. It didn't really work out.
No, it didn't really work out very well. It's kind
Your
of...
reaction was the correct one. Just say, oh, well, it's down. The majority of reactions I saw were the opposite, though. People were livid.
Yeah. They were screaming and yelling on Twitter. They were doing all sorts of weird things on the forums. The world was going to hell. It was
like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It went crazy.
Yeah.
And
And
we're angry that the beta, which, let me remind you, is a beta, does not work correctly.
Right. And then I tweeted out, well, beta is beta, and this one is very beta at the moment. That's what I said. And I got like tons of retweets on it. And then I got some people saying, yeah, I know beta is beta, but still, if they say that they're raid testing, they should be raid testing. They should be testing raids.
Right.
Yes, they should
I think they can do whatever they want, though.
They should be. And then on Friday, they were like, oh, let's do more raid testing.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. There was a fire in Irvine, a real fire in Irvine, and it shut the power substation down. And
yeah, right. Sure, Blizz, a fire.
So there was kind of raid testing this week, and then there was kind of a lot of not raid testing this week.
Right.
I don't know.
A literal fire happened. Like, that's crazy.
I know. And I think it was
the hate, the anger from the forums manifested itself physically.
Yeah. Right. From Tuesday.
There's so much of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I saw a couple of tweets at, I think it was at the Watch or Celestalon, where people were upset that the beta was disconnecting for everyone except Midwinter and Method. And they were saying that clearly Blizzard only cares about the top, 1% raid teams because their servers are fine. And they're like, what are you talking about? They're disconnecting just like everyone else.
Right.
They just keep trying for all day to get back in, so they can kill bosses. So
right. Yeah, I was watching, I think it was Affinity stream, or I was watching everybody.
Watching Trekkies. Yeah.
And they were all down, and then they were up, and then they were down, and they were like, oh, jeez, you got to be kidding me. But those guys are true champs, and those guys are totally hardcore, which means that they just keep on trying. They keep on throughout the entire time. They will just keep on trying until they get word from Blizzard to not try anymore. So I got to actually see the streams and got to see the videos that were created this week for Gruul and for the Butcher. And they don't look like super exotic fights or anything like that, do they? Darius, you saw this stuff too, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, right now they're trying to figure stuff out. This is the first public raid test they've done. They've done a lot of internal testing. So right now it's just, if we get 10 or 20 or 30 people in here, is this just going to melt everything when people start pushing buttons, we don't imagine, or things like that. So it's not, these kind of look like Tang and Spanks, but they're not. The boss have almost no health. The damage they do, is pretty low compared to probably what they're going to do on live, things like that. It's just testing,
right?
You can't take much away from these early tests. There were a few positives though. There were some new boss animations, some new like ability animations, things like that, and some of them look really clean. Some of these AoE animations, like Gruul had this one where he fills the room with poo. But the poo looks really good. It's nice looking poo.
It's good looking poo.
It's poo. Yes.
So that's.
But it's it's good to see this because like we've spent the last what I don't know 7 years in Siege of Orgrimmar or something like that.
Right.
So that's what it seems like. So to see new bosses and new mechanics gets me, invigorated again to do this stuff.
To see new bosses.
Well,
interesting. You would use those words.
see bosses again. Let's say that.
Right, because we kind of know Gruul from BC,
and you guys, I got to tell you, I fought Butcher all weekend. It was in Diablo 3, but I destroyed this guy. I don't see what the issue was.
Right, so we kind of know these guys, and Darius, you were talking about this before the show. You were talking about how again. People started a literal fire in Irvine about this, right?
People are a little upset because everyone for the last, 3, 4, 5 years has been like, BC is the greatest. It was the best raid tier. I loved BC, blah, blah, blah. And then they add back, a boss or two from BC. People are like, what are you doing? Why are you reusing bosses? What's wrong with you?
Right. Right.
This is what you said you wanted.
Yeah. You guys said you loved BC. What? So we brought back a little bit of BC, and now you guys are angry.
Well, I'm just gonna go out here and say this.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't like old bosses coming back. I don't dig it. I like it that Gruul. I fought Gruul back in the day, and it was Gruul, right? And it's not just what my mother-in-law serves for dinner. Right. It was an actual boss. I'm sorry. I hope she didn't hear that. Actually, she does listen to the show. I might be in real trouble here. Oh, jeez. Didn't really think that went through. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I mean, you're right. The TBC and some people are like fine with it, like an old boss kind of revamped and all that stuff. But I don't know, man. There's something about it that I don't really like. Like, I just don't like, all right, this is Gruul 2.0.
Well,
like I don't really like that.
Well, let's see, Ragnaros.
Right. But yeah, okay, yeah. See, okay, all right, good point. Because you're right. I remember him, and I fought him in the old Molten Core days back in Classic WoW, not Vanilla, Classic. And seeing him again was great. Yeah. Because it's years later, and oh my gosh, it's Ragnaros, and here we go. Right. And maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe he was just such a major boss, like he was like the Fire Lord. Yeah. And now in Phase 2, he gets out and he's wearing those fancy sneakers, and you see his feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there was a part of me, like when I saw it was Gruul again, I was like, oh, okay, but you bring up a good point. You know what? When I fought Rag and good old Cataclysm, it didn't bother me. So why is Gruul bothering me now? Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's also put into a much different circumstance because it's actually a part of a raid instead of a one-off boss.
Right.
And it's a little bit different mechanically, and you have to expect that going back to. I mean, we're going pre-BC, right? So we're going pre-BC. So we're gonna run into these characters again. We're running into them. Just in the world. So you would expect to run into him again, in raids. I just think that, if you don't have that expectation to run into some of these guys, I mean, they'll have new ones too.
So you're using the lore.
Yeah. Right. This is from a guy who really doesn't, I mean, I like the lore. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, but that's not my drive in the game. So, I don't mind it so much. Plus, maybe it's because I was never in BC. I'm a Wrath guy. So maybe that's why I don't mind so much because, but I did go in and fight Gruul the other day. I was not raid testing. No, I just went in and soloed him on my druid or whatever. I just wanted
this guy isn't that hard.
Yeah, I just wanted to get some transmog gear and that was about it. And he seemed really easy.
So you guys are totally cool with reusing bosses in a way, like Gruul or like Butcher. Now Butcher was in I even the chat room was saying Diablo 1 as well as Diablo 3. So you guys are totally cool with that. That doesn't bother you at all or anything?
I'm fine with that.
It's like I like to play Blizz Heroes, and that's just reusing all the characters that you're familiar with, and or Heroes of the Storm.
That's different situation, though.
I know. It's a
MOBA.
different. It's a totally
What do you-
different game. But
I'm actually shocked you even made that comparison.
I like to play Heroes of the Storm, and that's just all characters from previous things.
Yeah, it's
I like
exactly
to play,
the same thing.
I like to play Hearthstone, and that's using the same characters.
Oh my gosh.
It's it's part of the world. Like, I just kind of expect it.
I don't see a difference really.
Mm.
Well, that's yeah.
No,
So,
it's true. I guess I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm a little island over here.
I see the concern there, but as long as they're introducing new mechanics and making it somewhat different, I think that'll be fine.
Yeah,
When you put it in context with the entire raid. By itself, maybe it's a little lackluster, right? But
models have been updated. They look different. The mechanics are different. Like it's the same thing in name, basically. And in that case, it fits into the lore and everything. So
right.
sure.
But couldn't it be like Gruul's cousin or something? Like another, like
Drool.
Drool. Yeah, Drool. We fight Drool. That's way better. I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be Gruul. It can be Drool.
It's Gruul's dad, Drool.
Yeah, it's a little slower, but it's all right. We love him just the same. But I'm just saying, if it was him,
Got a cane.
I'd be fine. It's Drool. He takes naps in the afternoon.
Yeah.
On a
He
Sunday.
watches Jeopardy.
Yes. Getting smarter. Maybe you as a player play Jeopardy to beat Drool.
Right. Oh
fight
god,
that.
that would be hilarious.
I'd fight that.
That would be hilarious.
I'd
Well,
totally-
apparently there's more raid testing coming this week. On Monday we have Orgorger. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation.
That is correct. That is
And then-
100% correct.
And then Twin Ogron. So be looking for that, for those videos coming out on Monday or Monday, Tuesday. And they're going to be trying to get the Friday stuff back in, which is Flamebender Kagraz and Beast Lord Darmak. These names, a little weird. That's all I'm
Be
gonna
ready
say.
for the week after. We'll be fighting Nefarian and Onyxia.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Get ready for that.
Brand new bosses.
Right.
Yeah.
For the third time, we will fight Onyxia.
Yeah, Onyxia, come on. But I guess it was Onyxia with stitches. But, it's still Onyxia. All right. Enough of them.
I wonder if that would be the fourth time, actually. But,
Yeah.
so what's interesting, though, is that they're raid testing already. Like, is it just me, or does Blizzard seem to have really kind of stepped it up? Like, stuff is really kind of cranking and moving here with this beta now.
Yeah, it definitely seems like things are moving. Now, I don't know exactly what the answer is here, but maybe Darius, you can help us out. Now, when they've done raid testing, how soon, I guess, is it to the next new content that we can expect? I know that during an expansion, it's usually pretty quick, but for a new expansion, I'm not sure. Do you know? I mean, do you have an idea of what's going on?
I don't have exact numbers here.
No, I'm not saying exact.
I know, though, that we have seen in the past raid testing go up to almost the week before the new patch goes. So, like, we would see raid testing up until, like, the week before 6.0 hits and maybe even into 6.0. So we will see raid testing long after they announce a release date and everything like that. But they do have a lot of bosses to get through here, and they've gotten through, this will be 6 this week coming up, out of the 16 or something that there's going to be there. So they're moving right along, but we haven't had a release date yet. So there's still a lot of raid testing left to do.
Well, and then plus, I mean, with all the class switches that are going on, with all the ability stuff that's changing around, with stats changing and all that kind of stuff, I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of class reworks as well along the way. So there may be retesting, more retesting than normal.
Yeah, we could see Gruul come back 2 or 3 times while they just test that. They test maybe a new mechanic, but they're also testing, the complete revamp they did to rogues and death knights and warriors that week or whatever.
Right.
So we're going to see a lot more raid testing, but it's a good sign. They're moving in the right direction. This means that they've started to finalize mechanics and models and locations for bosses and all that kind of stuff. So these are all really good signs.
I just noticed, I mean, the guys over at Wowhead and MMO Champion, I mean, they've been coming out with a new build like almost every week now lately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every week, here's a brand new build with a brand new everything. So they've really seemed to have kind of stepped it up. And I don't think these devs are getting a lot of sleep. I don't know. It's it seems to be rolling and going.
Right. And if you're following like Celestalon's Twitter feed, you know that he's up at all hours of the day and night. So he doesn't get any sleep anyway. So
I don't understand it. This guy, he's tweeting like, oh yeah, he's answering tweets at like 4:00 in the morning.
He's a monster, is what he is.
He gets
and then he's doing it again at like 9 a.m.
Right.
He gets to sleep when it's released, so he's really pushing for a release date right now.
Because he is tired. He is getting tired.
Oh man!
God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so they just did a new release as well, and they wiped all the characters off of the beta, and they're just restarting, right? So we had a restart this week of everything. So if you had a character on the beta, it is not on the beta.
What?
Unless of course you have gone back since then, but.
Right,
including any guilds you might have had.
Yeah, like convert to raid. On what was the server that we had it on?
We were on Lost
Isles. Yeah. So
I also really like there was a lot of rage about the characters being wiped. That was pretty awesome too.
Well,
I was really upset about that.
They gotta do that from time to time because things change. You know, it's not.
Well,
really
that actually happened to me because I logged in and created a level 100 because level 100s are good to go. Wanted to check out the old Windwalker Monk Talons, figure out what's going on. How's she feeling? You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I want to see the new stuff with the Garrison. I'll just log on, walk Fu on Lost Isles because he's already got his Garrison leveled up and he's been deleted. So that's right. So, but no, it is. Beta is beta. This is what's going to happen. They're going to wipe characters But just overall, man, just as a general, taking a step back and looking at everything, Blizzard has really kicked it up into high gear here. And we're getting a new build literally almost every single week.
And they actually just invited a bunch of new people to the beta last week. And so now I thought this might be a good time for those guys that are new to beta or for those guys that are just getting into the beta as far as any kind of tips that we can give them on what they should be doing or what, maybe what they should be looking for or looking at as they kind of go through. I mean, everybody has their own thing, of course. Some people are really into questing. Some people are really into lore. Some people are into exploration. All those things are very possible in the beta. For those guys that are into raiding and dungeoning, what kind of advice might we be able to give these guys as they kind of get into it a little bit? Darius, you actually had a good place to go on the web, right?
Yeah, well, I want to say the first and most important thing when you are doing raid and dungeon testing and things like that in this beta is be patient. It's a beta. Things are gonna break. Servers are gonna go down. Don't worry about it. You're there to test. When you can test, do it, but don't get angry. But yeah, as far as add-ons and trying to figure out what's useful, Curse is a really good spot right now. You can go to Curse and you can go to their WoW add-ons section. It's curse.com/add-ons/wow/new, and you can see a list of all of the add-ons that have been updated, and they're in chronological order. And you can take a look. Any add-on that says, if it says recount dash WAD or recount dash Warlords or something like that, it's probably been updated for the beta. Normal add-ons are likely not going to work on the beta. You can't just copy your add-ons over from your current WoW install over to the beta. There have been things that have changed, version numbering, things like that. Different API calls have all been changed. So some of the add-on authors have to write new things to test. I know right now DBM is working, Click is working. For a little while there, I do believe SCADA was working for damage meters, possibly Recount now. And you can go and you can find these. Sometimes you can go directly to their website. If you go to Curse and you look up Recount, you'll find the Recount development website, and they might have a development build directly on their website to get the latest Recount version that works on the beta. Yep. But most add-ons right now are not working. And you cannot load out-of-date add-ons on the beta. So
right. So expect it to be minimal as far as add-ons go, but there are some add-ons out there, especially if you're a healer. Click is going to be your friend, and as far as I know from that angle, what you need to do is you actually need to create macros for Click to work. It won't do the normal thing that it does, where you can just like do a mouse move or do your keybinds like directly over the spell as you hover over it. That part won't work, but you can use macros with Click. And it kind of runs you through the process when you get in there, and that's how I was going to test rating with.
Right.
That never happened, but
servers are up. Yay! Servers are down.
Oh, so sad. Now, what else can we say to those guys that are going into the beta? How do we? I guess there's a little interface in there too for giving feedback and bug detection and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, there is. It's nice and easy to use. I'm a big fan of like the old bug hunt. You know what I mean? I like looking for bugs. I like trying weird stuff in game and seeing what happens. Cast a spell, then switch stances in the middle of it. See if that causes anything. I was so proud of myself that I found this exploit back in the old BC days.
What?
Where, yes, I've said this on the show before. I found an actual exploit in the beta during Burning Crusade, and it was if your bags are full and you've got jewel crafting, which was the new profession back then, and you try to prospect ore, but if your bags are full, it doesn't destroy the gem. It just keeps it there solid because the little parts, the remnants, have nowhere to go. Yeah. So you could just prospect over and over and level up like almost all the way to max. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. That was awesome.
So I wrote in the bug report, exploit in all caps, and it got fixed. So I'm a big fan of like trying weird stuff, try to find holes in the world, like explore, run to the edge of maps, run around. Don't go like on the road. Go to like weird areas and then see if your character falls through the world, and then bug that, note your location, that kind of thing.
There was one with a Death Knight. There was one bug with a Death Knight where if you were on a ship in some place, I can't remember if it was Booty Bay or if it was the other place, and you tried to grip somebody onto the ship, it would actually pull you through the world and break everything. Break everything. So
sounds fine.
Yeah, it was totally cool.
Now, Gary Gannon is saying, look for weird stuff in Goldshire. That is a separate kind of weird stuff. As you'll find that's more on Moonguard. So no, that's not the kind of weird stuff that we're discussing.
No. If you want to check out weird stuff like that, you should be, I don't know,
hang out with Gary Gannon.
Hanging out with
Gary.
Yes. The old Gigi.
Yeah, that's
Gannon!
right.
Exactly.
Find some weird stuff there.
Oh, man. All right. Now let's get to some beta patch notes. Just some quick things, because there were some cool things that happened this week. Some highlights, right? So for Warlocks, which none of us play, so we don't really know about this too much. But Grimoire of Sacrifice is changed to Grimoire of Synergy, where the Warlock or its pet can buff the other one for 15% more damage for X number of seconds. I can't remember how many. And the Hunter is useful again. Right, right, Darius? That's what you said before the show. That's why I put it in the thing. So what's going on with Hunters?
Useful like a 14-year-old boy.
Oh, no. You did not.
They're good for 6 seconds.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Really know what that means, but moving on.
No, it's kind of weird.
Hunters are getting a new old aspect. Wasn't this an aspect at one point that they've now redone?
Yeah.
The name of it, at least?
Yeah.
So they're getting Aspect of the Fox again, but what this is party and raid members within 40 yards take on the aspect of a fox, allowing them to move while casting all spells for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's
what?
raid-wide Spirit Walker's Grave.
It's a nice little raid cooldown, right? So I mean, this is something that we're actually going to be able to use on a regular basis during those heavy damage fights where you need some mobility. So Hunters will have this really cool new thing that they can do.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's raid wide.
Yeah.
So everyone can cast on the move.
Right. So
Once again, like with Thok and Siegecrafter, I'm now required to bring hunters to my raid groups.
well, actually, they said that you would be required to bring. Well, not required, but you probably should be bringing a balanced raid group, raid comp anyway.
A balanced
for
raid
Warlords.
group does not include hunters.
It does not. It never has, and it never
No.
will. No.
Wow, that's big. That's a big deal, man. I dig it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And another really cool thing is for druids. They got this. Okay, so for feral druids, they got this new talent, this level 100 talent, and the talent reads like this: it's Claws of Shirvala. And renegade druids have developed the ability to shapeshift into a creature half man and half cat. This alternate cat form allows the use of all non-damaging druid spells while shapeshifted and increases versatility by 5%. This is actually really, really cool.
Renegade.
Yes, because the renegade druid takes the form of a Saberon.
What?
What is that, you say? It is a werecat. It is not the werewolf. It is a werecat. And it is so cool looking, so tough looking. It's really amazing.
I think it's
great.
more Thundercat than any.
Yeah,
it's
kind of
definitely a
Thundercat. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks Thundercat in nature.
Yeah, it's
for sure.
Thundercat.
They're getting
Thundercats are
sued.
go. Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely. And so, but it's really cool. And let's see. So for night elves, they get this panther skin. For trolls, they get a tiger. For Tauren, they get a lion. For Worgen, they get snow leopard. And for the rest of the Mac OS X bundle of kitty cats, I'm sure that we're just waiting on it. So
it's awesome.
you know.
I gotta admit, man, I saw this and it looks awesome. It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think Celestalon was talking about it because he said, let me just see. I know that Shirvala form uses new to Warlords model, also uses the Saberon race, but it uses some different animations. So you can be looking forward to that. And they were basically, I think what it was is that they were looking for a new level 100 talent, and they needed something fairly quickly that was cool and competitive with the other ones on that row. I think they found it. Druids love new forms. So,
Yeah.
because we can't see gear on ourselves, so we might as well get a new form.
Yeah. They should have called it Samoflange. That way you could have been like, what the heck is a Samoflange?
That's awesome. That's
would've
great.
been
Are you
perfect.
kidding me? That would be great as well.
A little 80s reference. I think that only you and I get. That's it.
Maybe
Us
you're right.
old people are like, oh yeah, what the heck is a Samoflange? So that's classic. Anyone younger is like, what? But anyway, but you're right. New spells at level 100 is awesome. Any type of shape-shifting thing for druids, man, that's just cool. That's just cool. And these models look great. They look really, really cool.
And it apparently you will not be able to see your gear on this. Just so you know. Even though it's half man, half cat, it means no gear. You won't, won't be able to see a thing. At least not right now.
Surprise
At
for
least
druids.
not right now in the beta. Maybe they'll build it so you can actually show gear, but man, that's
and pants either. No pants.
Yeah,
either.
no pants. But yeah, you're screwed for that. I just find it really odd that they make all this great art for druids. All the armor stuff for druids, and then you can't see it.
Right.
Why make it then? Just give us this box that just has an X on it. Like, yeah, you got this one. Fine, go ahead. Whatever.
Right.
Who cares?
I remember I was raiding in Wrath of the Lich King, and I was on my Resto Druid, and I'm just a tree. And my wife comes over, and she goes, why does everyone look cool, and you're just a tree flailing your arms?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, well, everyone else got all this cool armor on. You're just this tree running around panicked, just flailing your arms left and right.
Right. I know.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
Actually, it's funny because now that you don't have to do the tree form for Resto Druids, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to make myself look like a hobo through transmog, so that I don't have to. So that again, gear just doesn't matter for druids. So who cares?
Right.
So I might as well just give up and look like a hobo.
That's excellent. When in doubt, go hobo.
Wait, right,
All right.
right. That's what
It
I'm
is.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Hashtag go hobo. All right, fantastic.
Hey, I do want to bring up our sponsor, and our sponsor is Audible. You can try Audible free for 30 days and get a free audiobook just for signing up at audible.com/gamebreaker. And really, if you're listening to podcasts, watching podcasts, this is another great thing that you can listen to. There are some awesome books, as we know. Which one should I play? Maybe I'll go back to War Crimes, because I really like this clip from War Crimes. It is amazing. It is gripping, and you're like, oh yeah, let's do this. So let me play this down, and then we'll talk a little bit more after the clip.
You should not have stopped Goel from killing him, Your Majesty. There is no other justice for that monster than death, and even that is more merciful than what he has done. The Ranger General's voice was sharp, and Jaina couldn't blame her, especially as she completely shared Varisa's sentiments. Garrosh Hellscream had been responsible for the destruction. No, that was too kind, too clinical a word for what he'd done, the obliteration of the city-state of Theramore. The deaths of hundreds, all occurring in the space of a heartbeat, could be laid at his feet.
Oh, sounds so good.
Woo!
Sounds so good. And once again, you can get a free audiobook just for signing up for your free trial for 30 days. Lots of free stuff. So go to audible.com/gamebreaker and get this stuff. If you haven't tried Audible, now is the time, because it's totally free for 30 days. You get a free book and all that kind of good stuff.
Free!
So please do it. All right. Now let's move it along to what are we doing? Oh, so there's a new thing with weapon enchants with garrisons, and you couldn't find out on Wakfu what that was.
What?
You couldn't find because it was erased, right?
Yes, it was. It was deleted.
So it was deleted on the
On my
beta.
monk named Wakfu.
Oh boy.
Wakfu! Yeah!
Oh man. So there's a new thing in the garrison, and it has to deal with the enchanter tower or building or whatever the hell it is.
That's the proper name. Yes, that is correct.
Right. Okay. Enchanter building, where you can change an enchantment effect, right?
Yes.
the deal?
So basically, you get our weapon enchants, right?
Yeah.
They got the little glue blowy blue, or it's glue blowy. It's blue glowy, green, or it's red, or whatever. Typical weapon enchants, right?
Right.
Now, with Garrison, you have the option to change what that glow is or turn it off.
That might be good for my Go Hobo. That might be good for my Go Hobo thing that I'm trying to do. So just turn it off for the hobos out there.
Yes. for my hobos.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Give it up for my hobos out there in Warcraft.
That's right. Pour a little bit out for my hobos.
This is kind of
There
cool,
it is.
right? So you'll be able to change it to whatever. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. If it just will change it to whatever you've already had in a weapon, or if it's just like you choose it from a menu or something like that. That'd be cool though.
That's awesome. If I can get blue steel on all of my weapons, that's amazing.
Steel.
That's all I want. Zoolander blue steel. If
Yep.
I can get that would look amazing. But that's cool, man. That's great for like RPers,
Right.
for transmoggers.
Right.
Like this is huge.
Right. If you get the blue steel look though, you won't be able to turn left.
That's true. That's true. And it's always the same face. They're the same enchant. It's always. I invented the piano key necktie. I invented it. But
Right.
no, I think this is a cool thing. I mean, Darius, you do a little transmog with the old priest there. You're a little bit of a transmogger.
Yeah,
You
a little
digging this?
bit. I get I don't fully understand how this is gonna work, if I have to have these enchants or if they're ones that like I have had in the past, or exactly how this works. But I like the idea, transmogging enchants, because you always end up with, whatever the latest one happens to be really ugly for whatever transmog set you have.
Yeah.
I remember in Wrath when there was whatever the agility one was that druids would use, it just left this garbage all over your screen whenever you were flying or walking, because it left this huge trail of like dirt behind it. Basically, it was awful. It was so bad. But no, I think this is a really good idea. As far as transmog go, I get these great ideas in my head, and I find all the gear I want, and then I realize I have to go and farm it, and I give up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yep. That's why I went with the hobo look.
That's
Really.
right.
That
Just go
works.
straight up hobo.
It
You
was-
can really combine anything you want.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Right. Although you can't use, there's still some transmog things that you can't get, and I'm kind of upset about that. I mean, really, for the look that I'm going for, like I want to get rid of my cloak pretty much altogether. I want to, I mean, you can turn it off, but I want to change it
Right.
to something that's really like rags torn up or something like that. So I don't know.
Go to Westfall. Go to Westfall.
But the thing is, you can't transmog a legendary. So you can't, if you have a legendary something, you can't transmog that into something else, and you also can't do it the other way. I think too, right? So you can't transmog something into a legendary.
Right. Yes.
So-
Yes, that for sure. Yeah.
It works both
all right.
ways. So you get a little stuck. So I just have to turn it off. It's a big.
I would
bummer.
have much prefer they fix that whole transmog legendary thing instead of adding the enchanting.
and also
transmog.
the transmog funny things into your character, like the frying pan or whatever.
Yeah, or a fish
Or a
something
fish.
like that.
Yeah, just do it, Blizz. Just
Oh.
light it up.
That'd be perfect. I actually farmed. I got a
then-
frying pan with eggs in it.
Right.
This would have been perfect for wok food. There
Right.
are eggs in the frying pan. Why can't we transmog this? There's
I know.
over easy eggs
I know.
in the.
Just
Well,
turn
I'm
it on, Blizz. You created this art yourselves, you guys.
Right.
I mean, come on. We should be appreciating this art for what it is, right?
right.
I agree.
Oh man, you
they're
made
actually-
it. You
they're
made
sunny
your
side
bed.
up.
Now lie in it, please.
That's right. Come on, Blizz.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
Right.
Get
Okay.
it together.
Let's move it along to Ashran. Now, okay, so Ashran normally would be something PvP stuff we normally would not cover on this show because it's PvP and we are convert to raid, right?
And we're frankly terrible at it.
Right.
There's that
Convert to
too.
Right.
PvP.
Right, exactly. But apparently, Ashran is not going to be that PvP. It's not going to be as PvP as we expected, right? So apparently, they are trying to make this morph this into more of the world PvP that we had at what were the places? South Shore, stuff like
Tauren
that.
Mill. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Tauren Mill. Is it no Tauren Mill? Yeah.
No, yeah.
I want to make sure that they don't say Tauren Mill, that it's Tauren Mill.
Good.
It's a little bit of a difference. I don't know. Anyway, so there was a big post about it from Chris Kalicki. Kalicki. And this is like his first post ever as a blue. And so he's like totally excited. And so he made this big huge post. He's like,
I
"Oh, man,
hope
this is
the
my-
forums
this is my
went
first one."
crazy on him. Like
Right.
trial by fire.
Right.
I hope they went
It
nuts.
just, they
No
just
offense,
burn
Chris.
him
I
to
wish you
pieces.
the best.
Burn him to
Right.
pieces.
But yeah.
There you go. Welcome to Blues.
Ooh,
There you go.
right,
Oh
right.
man, I don't know. But he was talking about it. He was talking about this new type of PvP design, and they're trying to not make it, like Alterac Valley or something like that, where it's just a bunch of PvP stuff going on. They're really trying to make it more PvE centric, with everybody being flagged and fighting over these resources, and hoping that that'll create some kerfuffles along the sides, right? So I don't know. Do you guys like this idea of PvP, or are you just like, I'm going to avoid this island completely?
I think this is good. From what I'm reading, it'll be an area where everyone's flagged for PvP, so PvP is encouraged.
Right.
But if you are doing PvE there, your rewards, you get more out of it. You either get more XP or you get more loot when you finish a quest or something like that. So it's going to encourage people to want to go there to maybe level faster or maybe get more items with leveling or something like that. But you've also got PvP that's going on. So I like this idea of rewarding people for wanting to do some open world PvP. And because you get more out of it, you can expect to see more people there. So it's not 14 horde players that are going to gang up on you and you're the only alliance or something like that. You can expect there's other alliance in the area.
Right. Because they are using some of that technology to make sure that the island's always even or fairly even.
Yeah.
Balanced, more balanced.
I think this is an awesome idea. I'm not a big PvPer. I don't do much of it anymore, but I still think this is a great idea, and I'll probably be there just to see how much I can get out of it.
Right, Colt. How about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, risk versus reward. I'm risking my tail. I better get some nice rewards. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I dig this. I mean, that's how you get players to do stuff. You give them stuff.
Right.
Like no player is going to I'm just going to do this for fun. I mean, really, especially, they need loot. They need rewards. Raids exist, not just for the gameplay mechanics, but because you get loot. That's part of the big reason. My big thing is it's all about the loot, baby.
Yeah.
So I will do this Ashran stuff if I get me some good loot, or if it helps with my leveling, or it maybe helps me get more supplies for my garrison. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's going to make me want to do this.
Or some cool transmog at least, because I mean, this is going to be the way for people to get honor, and to be able to get into more PvP action, I guess, so that they can get the gear to give them to make sure that they are better at or be able to last longer in PvP battles.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I was around in the Tauren Mill South Shore days. These were the days before it was just this open world PvP. And what I liked about it was I could go to it when I wanted it. Similar to Ashran.
Right.
When I felt like mixing it up with the Horde or with the Alliance, I could go to this place and do it. What I like about this is if I can, just like it was back in the day, I can go to it if I'm interested in it. But I can also do some PvE stuff, get some extra juice for my character, for myself as well. Right. So you kind of get that extra double benefit here, which I like. Because, the Tauren Mill South Shore days, those days were great. But I liked it that you could go to it to get involved. Same here with Ashran. So I think this is going to be really a win-win. And when you're in the mood, you can get it and get a little extra
And that
stuff.
might be actually a benefit to having the capitals, I guess, the faction capitals in Ashran. They're along the edge of the island. They are not. You won't be flagged for PvP in those areas, but just outside of there, that's where the PvP part is. And maybe it's kind of a nice thing because, especially as encouraging world PvP type of action, that could be kind of fun. So then you just go, oh, you know what? I really want to do that, and so you go and explore that. And if you don't, you can. Just go to your garrison and hang out or whatever. So it sounds like there's going to be some options, which is definitely a good thing.
In the world PvP, man, you get 4 of your buddies and you're like, all right, we're going to be a little hunting group. Let's go out and find some PvP. It really is a good time.
Yep.
And usually when you get in there, there's usually a big raid or a big group already. You can join the massive army, or you can be this little mercenary group, this little group, of 5 hunters that are going to go, well, not hunters, because, I mean, come on. But you know what I'm saying. But
not
but
literal hunters.
But I'm looking forward, and with the changes they're making with the less CC, I can actually play my character, and I'm not locked down for about 23 seconds.
Right.
I'm actually looking forward to the PvP, and I definitely am going to try out this Ashran in Warlords. It looks cool.
Yeah, it should be good. Now, a couple of little things, and then we'll get to some questions here. We have a raid of World of Warcraft now available in Hearthstone. It's kind of cool.
What?
So Naxxramas, not necessarily the hardest raid ever, but it's definitely cool, is now available in Hearthstone. And I don't know if you guys have played it or not, but it's kind of cool and weird at the same time. I don't know how to feel about it as somebody that's gone through there a bunch of times, and now it's on Hearthstone. I don't know. What have you guys played it or played around with it or anything like that? Because it's
I haven't tried it yet. I think it's a cool idea.
It's interesting. And you can get into the first wing for free right now. So guys, go in there and grab it if you're playing Hearthstone. It's definitely strange though. But you can do it on both normal and heroic, and you're fighting against these bosses 1-on-1, and they all have different special abilities and some new cards and stuff like that. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
Well, I like this because it's PvE content for Hearthstone, which I've always looked at as a PvP type of game.
Right.
If I wasn't in the mood to fight other people and lose,
right.
My only option was to fight the old mage or the old hunter or the old priest.
Yeah.
So I like it that this is some PvE content in a way that I can, not have to combat real people and just try it this way. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that was released this week was the female Tauren art model. And yeah, it looks kind of like the male Tauren art model. It looks pretty much like that, right? I mean, except female form. I don't know if you got into trouble with this at work.
Well, this one, there were some tweets at me about it. So before I even opened the page, I was warned. So I kept it very minimal. Right. I really dig the female Tauren. It looks a lot like the male Tauren looked a little goofy to me. Yeah. Which is cool, but I don't know, it's a little goofy.
Sure.
But this one still looked cool. Like, I really dig the female Tauren, and some people that play female Tauren seem to be really happy with the changes because they look great. They really look great. But no, I did not open up the window full screen on my monitor at work this time, like some of the others.
Probably for the best.
And then, then what happens, they see you, and then you walk in, they're in a group, and they're like, oh, here he comes.
Here comes the weirdo.
Man? Here comes the weirdo. Oh, boy.
He likes, the Tauren right now, they kind of remind me of, remember the movie Dark Crystal?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of the Mystics a little bit. I mean, just kind of the way that they look it kind of reminds me of the Mystics, especially now. Now that they have the new art and stuff. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm totally going that way.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It's pretty cool. Okay, now I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about our new sponsor, a new sponsor to the show, and it is WildStar. That's right, WildStar. If you're in the mood for something a little bit different, now that Siege of Orgrimmar has been out for, 7 years, whatever it is, you can try this out. It's a little bit more sci-fi. It's got lasers and spaceships and hoverboards. And it's a triple A MMORPG. Most of you guys that are into MMORPGs, go figure, you're listening to the show. You probably already know about WildStar, but let me tell you a little bit if you're not familiar with it. It's got everything from an in-depth housing system to massive PvP war plots to incredible raids and dungeons, and it's fast-paced and it's action combat that revolves around the telegraph system. And the telegraph system, basically you run around and you can actually cast on the move and position yourself correctly. You can dodge out of enemy abilities and so on. And it's really about you really have to think fast, move fast, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. And if you haven't tried WildStar yet, you can just head over to ctrdeal.com/WildStar, pick up your copy now. And if you follow this link, you get 30 days of free playtime. That's right, 30 days free just by going to ctrdeal.com/WildStar and picking up your copy of WildStar. So that's a really good deal, and it helps support this show. So please go to ctrdeal.com/WildStar and check it out. Especially if you're into something, you're looking for something new in your MMORPGs. Yeah. So check it out. ctrdeal.com/WildStar. All right, let's go into some Leading the Raid.
Leading the Raid.
When we can, we take a look at leadership issues for World of Warcraft, and this week we have a listener question, and Coltrane, might you be able to help us out with this one, please, sir?
This is from an individual named Anonymous.
From Anonymous, I believe.
Common name.
Right.
I'm sorry. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
yes,
all right.
yes.
This is for A.
Right.
First name A. I have a dilemma that has just arrived, and I'm really lost as to what I should do. I've been raiding with my current guild since Wrath, and I am a co-leader for the guild and raid team. I love everyone in my team, but what I want out of raiding has changed, and I feel like it doesn't really fit with the rest of the team's desires. Now, I have been given the opportunity to raid with a guild who is currently 11 out of 14 heroic. I want to take the offer, but I feel like I am abandoning my team just as we are getting started in heroics. I feel like my concern for my guild and my team is holding me back from what I want out of a raid team and with raiding progression overall. Any advice you give me would be amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, so we are seeing a lot of this right now. We're seeing a lot of people really trying to figure out what they want in raiding, and maybe a lot of teams switching up. We're seeing, we have 45 people on the roster for the Asparagus Initiative right now. Whatever it is, we're seeing a lot of transition. So for this particular person, Darius, maybe you should start. What do you think about this letter, just in general?
I've been in this situation years ago. I was on a raid team with a lot of good friends. We weren't really heroic minded, though. We did some heroics, but we weren't pushing hard. And I felt like I could do more and wanted to do more. And it is a really, really tough decision to make. A here has got quite a dilemma.
Right.
So I suggest, though, and this is a decision I ultimately had to make. Do I enjoy playing the game more with the friends and the people that I've played with, or do I get more enjoyment out of killing heroic bosses and pushing content? And you need to be very honest with yourself.
Right.
If you get more enjoyment out of killing heroic bosses than raiding with your team, if you continue to stay with your team, you're going to be unhappy, and they're going to tell the other people are going to be able to tell you're unhappy, and they're going to want you to move on, or it's going to become a pervasive thing where everyone else starts getting a little unhappy because you're unhappy, and you might get a few other people that think they can do it too, and it's not a good thing. If you are more happy with raiding with them, though, then stick with it. There's that saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. And you might be looking at that and thinking, oh, they're 11 of 14 heroic, everything is better there. But maybe it's not. Maybe if you really enjoy playing with these people more than you do wiping on bosses, then this, maybe that's a decision you need to make. But it's one of those situations where you have to honestly, sit down and make that decision. And like I said, be honest with yourself on what you actually enjoy in this game.
Right. Colt, what are your thoughts here?
You got to transfer, buddy. You got to transfer. Yeah. Listen here, Mr. Anonymous. You need to transfer and try out. You need to try out this new hardcore heroic guild, because everything Darius said is 100% correct. If you don't, and if you decide to stay, you're going to get more and more frustrated.
Yeah.
Every time you wipe and and you see all this stuff, you're going to get more and more angry, because you're like, I could be on heroic Siegecrafter right now, and that is a great time, by the way.
You do not want to be there.
Oh, that is horrible.
If you want fun and good times had by all, heroic Siegecrafter. Yeah. But really, you need to do it. You need to transfer, and I recommend you do it quick. Talk to your current team. Just say, look, man, I have to try it. This is an itch that I need to scratch. I got to do it. And they sound like they're a good group of people that they would understand and be cool with it, but you need to try it out. You need to see what that life is like. Like Darius said, the grass is always greener. You need to check it out. So you can get over there, try it out. You might love it. You might hate it. Who knows? But you need to try it, because wandering around all day, you're just going to get upset and angry with the current raid team. And what if? So just do it.
And especially now with everything being cross-realm and being, available to you guys, it is easier than ever to at least try out on different teams and get that experience and figure out if this is the group for you. So, I don't think that there's any reason why you shouldn't say, you know what, even if you say to your team, I'm going to try out for this team. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not saying reserve my spot or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm going to try out for this team and see what it's like. And then if it doesn't work out, maybe I'll come back. Who knows? And you can always leave that option on the table for your team. Whether or not they replace you is not going to be, necessarily up to you. But it's easier than ever to try out for these different teams to make sure that these groups are working for you. So why not take the opportunity and make some new friends in WoW? That's always cool too. So make some new friends. Go try another team for a little bit. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. But I think that you do yourself a disservice if you want something more out of raiding and you're not going for it. Friends, I've had to do that with teams before as well, and it's not an easy decision.
No, it's not.
But you know, it's like for me, it was moving from a 10-man that was doing okay. It was a normal, you know, raid team, and it was fun, and it was super casual and super friendly though. And then, you know, another group came along that was going for more progression, and I said, I want progression. That's what I want. So I moved over, and it's not easy, but sometimes you just gotta check it out and try it out for yourself.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to some more questions.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have a question about anything for us about raiding or anything else, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us, converttораid@gmail.com, or call our raid line, 612-787-RAID, or you can join us during the live show. Just, you know, wave your hands about, and we'll see if we can answer your question. I don't think we'll be able to this week. Now, Darius, can you get this first question, please?
This is from Diamondia on Greymane. I hope I'm saying that right. It says, I'm a raid leader that's bringing up new raiders into the world, and I main Brewmaster Monk. I have 9 years of tanking under my belt from Warrior, Death Knights, so Brewmasters wasn't that hard to pick up on. However, I've met my hardest challenge yet, trying to tell my real-life friend he's terrible at Monk tanking. I play a Monk tank myself and perform to top ability. However, my friend thinks his way is better and won't listen to my criticism. I don't want to lose a friend over a game, but at the same time, I don't want my raiders leaving because of a stubborn bull. The problem occurs with him thinking LFR is nothing and that healers will keep him up through anything no matter what difficulty raid he's in. I've watched him in secret in his live streams, and he can't maintain shuffle, waste chi on fire breath, and refuses to use purifying brew on stagger. When I try to tell him that's not how to correctly tank as a monk, he says I'm just jealous of his skills. I don't want to kick him, but at the same time, hurting his feelings may end up making work even harder in real life. What can I do to help him see that he's not cut out and needs to improve his attitude towards it? He's a nice guy, great to talk to, just stubborn when it comes to criticism. Sounds like Zug. Sounds exactly
that's Zug written all over.
Yeah, that unfortunately, I know that person, and boy,
they call it.
I feel bad about that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so braggadocious, if you will.
They call it the Zug bug. You got to case the old Zug bug.
Yeah,
it happens.
That's what it sounds like.
Yep, I got a head of steam on that. I thought I was doing pretty good. Those healers were not keeping me up though in LFR, and that was not what I needed.
They're bad.
Yeah. So I mean, other than telling me directly through a letter. What do you guys think? How can this person?
This letter was written by Darius and I to you.
I know. I totally see it now, and I'm sorry. You know.
Right.
Maybe I should watch some videos or something.
Right.
I don't know. Go over to Preach Gaming and check out how to play.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't know. So how can somebody break it to somebody else that they're not doing what they need to? I mean, is there Darius, maybe is there like some sort of site that should they go to logs for this? Because it's tanking, so it's a little different, right?
Oh, I'm the wrong person to ask because, man, playing WoW is way better than having friends. So, you know,
right.
Just tell me sucks.
I don't need friends. I just need game.
Friends.
I just need game time.
Oh man, this is a really, really tricky one for a good friend that you care about. You'd hope that he would understand. You know, and would listen and value your opinion. But if he's not, I would say I would probably just go to hard facts. You know, get the logs and compare them to a top Brewmaster Monk and say, you know, this is what they're doing, this is what you're doing, this is their survivability compared to yours. You know, something like that, and just show him where he can improve. You know, don't tell him he's bad. Just say you're doing well, but here are ways that you can do better. You're do-gooder, as I say.
Do-gooder.
Do-gooder.
I hear that. I hear that 2 days a week or 2 nights a week on the Asparagus Initiative. Just do-gooder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't want to do any of this, I'm selling services where I will call him and tell him that he's bad.
Oh so yeah, there you go.
Just let me know. You know, I'm fine with that.
Right.
Holy cow.
This is really tough. So
I don't know.
This is impossible because you're like, hey, friend, you should check out this site on how to play Brewmaster. And he'll say, why?
Right.
Why? Why should I check out that site?
I'm already
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, like why would I need to learn how to play Brewmaster? I play it perfectly. Like,
Right.
well, maybe you could learn to keep the shuffle up. That's kind of really important.
Right.
Maybe use, purifying brew. You are in an impossible situation. So, I mean, and I'm sure it's frustrating. I'm sure you want to explode at some point and be like, you're doing it wrong. Like, you should be doing this. But if it's getting in the way of the team and bosses and all this stuff, man, you got to just tell them and be like, look, I'm just going to say this. If you get upset, that's your choice. I'm coming from a place of support and love, but as a Brewmaster monk, you need to keep your shuffle up. You need to be keeping your when your stagger gets too high, you need to purify that away and see how he reacts. But you need to say these things, and he may blow up on you, but you still said it, and it'll still be in the back of his mind. So maybe privately, once you're away and everyone's away, he'll be like, all right, how do I keep this stagger up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a possibility of that.
Easy Target in the chat room said this, but I was going to be bringing this up. Have the healers gang up on him. That's an easy way to do it. Just have the healers gang up on him and just be like, dude, your survivability is just not there. You're no good. I don't know what you're doing wrong, but you're not doing a lot right now, and I'd like for you to fix that, please.
Right.
So
you're taking insane spike damage. Something's not right.
All of our mana is going to you and not the rest of the team. So I don't know what's going on, but seriously, dude, stop it. And then just slap him on the face.
And Third Heaven in the chat room said, too, any relationship needs communication.
Right.
So that includes with this individual. So communication is key in all things. And just communicate your feelings or have the healers gang up
Have the healers gang up on him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. That seems to make sense for me. Now, the next question, maybe I should take this. From Rally 6 on CTR, Kazakh.
Woo!
Yeah, one of our guildies. Hey, CTR, any comments about Airy Peak being flagged for new players? During this is a new thing that happened like a couple of weeks ago. We got flagged for new players on the server. During peak times in the last few weeks, we've had some login queue times, something we haven't had to deal with in the past. It is even more interesting given the fact that we are in the late stage of an extended raid tier. So, is this a sign of much longer queues when Warlords goes live? Oh boy. So, what do you guys think as far as queue times for Warlords goes? Are we going to be seeing much longer queue times? I mean, I think I had a queue time of like 5, so I mean, it wasn't bad.
It's small now.
Right.
Now it's small.
Right. And this kind of goes along for everybody because, I mean, we're seeing a lot of cross-realm combinations, right? We're seeing these realms getting stitched together. And so we might start seeing some more queue times for these servers, which is actually kind of refreshing because at least then these servers are completely populated, which is great.
Refreshing. Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, if you're,
It's
if
true.
you're on a dead server or something like that, now at least
That's true.
things will be full, right?
I mean,
Go ahead, Darius.
There's a million things that could be going on here. When you look at the grand scheme of all the servers that are out there and the amount of tunes that are on every server, Airy Peak is actually in the bottom 10% as far as amount of people on our server.
Right.
We might have, there are some servers out there that have, we're at like 85, maybe 90,000 tunes on the server. There are some servers that are up over 300,000. We're not even close to the top.
No.
What we're probably seeing here is they're probably doing back end work on servers. They might be moving things around. They might be, changing things like you said with cross servers and merging servers, things like that. We have no idea what's going on. So I would say that there is no way for us to know if this is indicative of what's going to happen in Warlords or not.
Do you guys? Well, I know this now because I was talking with my Swedish friend the other day. From Warcraft Realms, and he was. Do you know how many tunes can be on any particular server at the same time?
No.
5,000. 5,000 can be on any.
That's the cap.
That's the cap for any particular server. And I was talking with him about Airy Peak in particular, and he said that he never saw Airy Peak in all the times that he kind of logged in. He never saw Airy Peak go below. I think it was like 200, 250 players, even at the lowest times ever, which is really kind of encouraging because that means that Airy Peak always has somebody on it all the time, which is great.
Those numbers have to be hard to track though, because when you like say you go into a dungeon or you go into a BG or a raid or something, you're no longer on Airy Peak. Yeah.
Right.
So, it's so hard to tell, but I don't think we're going to see massive queue times or anything like that. We're definitely not ruining the Airy Peak server or anything that keeps popping up in trade chat. None of that is true.
It's not like we're on Illidan or something like that, where it's
or Tyke.
Right.
Well, I mean, no matter what, yes, queue times are going to go up with the new expansion, like without a doubt. So right now you're in a queue of like 5 people. That's going to triple and quadruple, I think, at the beginning of Warlords for sure. But that goes across all the servers. Illidan is going to have about a 5-day queue, I think, to get in to that server.
You may be right.
And once you get in, don't get out, by the way. Just stay logged in, no matter what. Mm-hmm. So, yes, queue times are going to be a lot larger when Warlords hits. So right now, I do find it strange that Airy Peak was listed as for new players. I was like, I thought we were had a lot of people. But now there are queues, and those queues are going to get larger when Warlords hits. It's just something that happens with every single expansion.
Right.
But it's not going to be a massive hours and hours and hours long queue like you would get at some of those, with 300,000 plus tunes. You know what I mean? So so we're I guess a medium-sized server. We're not a major server. Right. But to answer the question directly, I think yes, when Warlords hits, yes, the queue times will be larger, and we will be sitting in that queue for a lot longer.
And especially for all those server mergers that are going on right now. I mean, you guys can probably expect some stuff too to happen down the road. It may not necessarily be a queue time, but quite yet. But I think that you will definitely see a ton more people in all of those meeting places in the capital cities and shrines and wherever else. And just out in the world. So there. And I think with that, we might just call it for today. Look at that.
Kerfuffle in the chat room said I'm going to create an alt on Airy Peak now. Lol. Thanks, Kerfuffle.
Great.
Yeah, way to make the problem one more.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Exactly. So we're gonna get out of here, but before we do, let's thank some people that gave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. Darius, you did your job this week. That's good.
I did.
Woo! So who do we have to thank this week?
So we have Revixed, we have Heretek, we have Panda Kid, and we have Adam Hogland.
Awesome.
That's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the 5-star reviews on iTunes. Thanks for all the great comments on our video side of things, and all the stuff that we get through Stitcher and through email and through whatever. Thank you very much for that. Shout outs this week, fellas. Anything from you guys?
I got one to all the listeners that have stuck with us. 150 shows.
I know.
And,
that's cool.
Really appreciate it. Big shout out also to all the members in the CTR community. You guys are fantastic. You guys are what make the community great. It's not us, it's you. So thank you so much for everything.
And I got to meet a couple of the guys from the CTR guild, some of the greeters and some of the people within the guild that are
awesome.
in the area. And so it was really great to meet all of you guys. Thank you once again for coming out to the Minnesota Meetup. That was fantastic. And I also have a shout out to Big Ticket and the rest of the Dam Busters Guild on Grim Batol EU. 5-year anniversary as of yesterday. So congrats to you guys.
All right.
For sticking it out for 5 years together. It's a long time for a guild. I can't wait until CTR Guild can say the same damn thing. So
absolutely.
Thank you guys for that. And we cannot do this show without you guys. Thank you for taking the time to rate us on iTunes. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for all the questions this week. And please feel free to join in on all the conversations we're having at any time. But first, I need to bail out of the music before I get into the rest of the ending here.
You're just gonna bail out?
Bailing out is my business. Yes. And I'm gonna
business is good, apparently.
Right. So I will play this one. There we go. You can always email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at converttoraid, or even individually, isn't that right, Coltrane?
That is right, Pat Crane. You can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane. You can follow Coltrane at _Coltrane, and you can follow Darius at BoardMine.
That's right. And you can join the Bazuba Guabo Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com. converttораid.com, where we have show downloads, we have our videos, we have forums, we have tons of links for raiders and so much more. And it's all over at converttораid.com. Our live feed and video show is also over on gamebreaker.tv. Make sure to watch, comment, like, share, subscribe to all the videos that we ever have ever. Just do it. And the audio show is available on places like Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, all sorts of places like that, and maybe some more in the future. Who knows? That is going to be it for the show. Colt, still love the shades.
Hey,
You're rocking
come
the
on.
shades. You're rocking the shades.
Yes,
Shades from the gas station that you got.
Yeah.
$3. Best $3 I ever spent.
Nice! And it's a tax write-off. Okay, that's going to be it for the show. We hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show next week at our regular time, Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. And for all the guys at Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey.